Hello, gentlemen. Congratulations on this new movie of yours.
Thank you so much.
Well, uh, yeah, I'll jump right into it. Lige, when you're writing a movie like this, which I, could relate to in a number of ways. I mean, did you ever envision that the end result would have such a wonderful cast led by Johnny here?
Did I envision that it would have a wonderful cast led by Johnny? No. I'd hoped there'd be a wonderful cast. I think that Johnny exceeded what I thought was possible as far as the cast.
Oh, thank you.
Really, and I mean that in the most sincere way. When I was writing it, I had like Theo in mind for Garfield. Like I knew Theo at the time, and I had some of these people in mind that there were some other guys attached early on that didn't end up being able to do the film as well, that because of schedules and stuff that
Tom Hanks.
Tom
I'll say it.
But I had people in mind for sure, and it's not that far off, but like what I had hoped it would feel like or be, but just the way it worked out with like GaTa playing Jake, like I thought that was gonna be a surfer, but I just was watching Dave at the time and was like, this guy's got to be in the movie, and I reached out. So I really developed the cast early on in the process, but yes, it exceeded the idea of what I had for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Johnny, your performance was wonderful, and I saw your Instagram posts. Your daughter did your makeup. I have a daughter myself, so I can relate to stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was curious, doing a movie like this. I was curious having a kid. I mean, has that sort of shifted your focus in terms of the movies you want to make? Doing a movie like Sweet Dreams where your character has a daughter, stuff like that.
No, it hasn't shifted my focus, but I can definitely draw inspiration from, especially in this film, from I have two daughters. I'm lucky enough to have two daughters and a son. Morris is fighting to get his life back and his daughter back. And, my oldest daughter worked on the film. So the scenes, off-screen lines for my daughter in the movie, my daughter Madison would read them. And she would just break my heart every time I'd hear her little voice. And, it was great to have her there.
Oh yeah, for sure. And when you were first reading the script, did you feel any sort of other sort of personal connection to either the character or just the story at large?
Well, Lige wrote a great script, and I have many people in my life in recovery. My father was an alcoholic. I have distracted and overindulged different periods in my life. So yeah, I spent my lifetime preparing for this role.
Yeah. And Lige, what was going back to square one, what was sort of the inspiration in putting this sort of specific story together, whether it was a personal experience or anything like that?
No, I just watched when this popped in my head, I just watched a movie that had a lot of recovery in it. Not a lot of recovery, but a lot of like alcoholism and so forth. And it was just like this other depressing, drab sort of look at it. And I was like, no one ever makes anything light or fun with this stuff. Because my experience of the decade plus of being sober is like, this is fun, or I wouldn't be doing it. This is like, it's a good time. I have a big life. I have a lot of friends, it's just not this lonely, like, depressing place. So I was like, that would be cool. And I was picking up a sober guy from a sober living, a newly sober guy from a sober living, and taking him surfing, and I ended up writing the movie with him, and it was inspired by him. And I always wanted to make a baseball. So all these things, came into my head at the same time, or just kind of worked out in the same time. This like sports, Bad News Bears kind of, sober living situation that was hopefully going to be amusing in the absurd way, but also say something nice about recovery and getting sober that is not all portrayed that way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And what was the movie, if you don't mind my asking? The
No, I saw the Way Back, that Ben Affleck movie, which loved the movie, but I was at the end, I was like, I don't want to spoil it, but like,
yeah,
why doesn't anybody win at the end anymore? Like they lose again, right? And then he's like, it doesn't portray this great sequence of life events after you hang up the towel from your old addiction, recovery, into recovery sort of life. And I just was like, man, people just don't ever say what it really is.
Yeah.
At least from my experience or the people that I hang out with, it's a good time. And I haven't seen it. Maybe I've missed it, but
No, I get it. Well, cool. Well, thank you. Yeah, that's all the time I have. But it was very nice to meet you both, and congratulations again on this new movie of yours.
Thank you so much.
well.